All right, so are you ready to unlock the secrets to financial freedom? Because today we are diving deep into Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, yeah. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a classic.
It is a classic, and we're going to break down some of those key lessons and, make them relatable.
Yeah.
Even if you're just, starting out on your financial journey.
I think that's a great approach because so many people find this book intimidating,
Yeah.
And they think like, oh, it's just for like, Wall Street guys or something like that.
Yeah.
It's really not.
It's really not. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting, as I was revisiting this book was Kiyosaki's whole premise of the two dads.
Right.
His biological father, who he calls Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And his friend's father, the Rich Dad.
Right. And that's really the kind of the core of the book, right?
Yeah.
Is seeing these two very different perspectives on money and how they play out in life.
Exactly. And it forces you as the reader to kind of start questioning your own beliefs about money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait a minute, what have I been taught?
Right.
What have I picked up along the way?
Yeah, and just that simple thing about like what your parents told you about money, can have a huge impact on your financial life.
Absolutely. And, for instance, Poor Dad always said the love of money is the root of all evil.
Right.
But Rich Dad countered with the lack of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, and that's a really thought-provoking statement, right? It makes you kind of stop and think like, well, which is it?
Yeah.
Is it the love of money or is it the lack of money that causes problems?
Right. And I think that's such a great point because it really highlights that the way we view money really is shaped a lot by our upbringing.
Absolutely.
And the messages that we receive as children.
Yeah, and I think Kiyosaki was really fortunate to have these two contrasting viewpoints, right? Because it forced him to think for himself and choose his own path, which is what we should all be doing. Examining our own beliefs and deciding, are they serving us or are they holding us back?
Right, and it's not always easy to, to really dissect that and figure that out.
No, it takes a lot of self-awareness.
But it's so important.
Yeah.
Because I think, we're programmed from a young age to think about money in a certain way.
Yeah, it's like we inherit these money scripts from our families and our culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of programming, Kiyosaki is a big proponent of this idea that traditional education doesn't really do a good job of teaching us
at all
about financial literacy.
Not at all.
Which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. I mean, we spend all this time learning algebra and history, which are important, but how to manage our finances, how to make money work for us.
Yeah.
Those are skills that we're often left to figure out on our own.
And it's interesting because he even uses this example of like the wealthiest men in 1923.
Right.
And you would think like, okay, they're the wealthiest guys.
Yeah, they got it figured out.
They got it all figured out, but within a few decades.
Many of them were bankrupt or worse. It's a cautionary tale.
It is, and it really underscores that financial knowledge is a different ballgame than just earning a high income.
Exactly, and that brings us to one of the core concepts of the book, understanding the difference between assets and liabilities.
Yes.
It's the foundation of building lasting wealth, not just, temporary riches.
Okay, so break it down for us, because I know it sounds simple, like assets versus liabilities, but sometimes I still get tripped up on it.
He does have a way of cutting through the jargon, doesn't he?
He does.
An asset in its simplest form puts money in your pocket.
Okay.
It's something that generates income or appreciates in value over time.
So like rental property, for instance.
Exactly.
That brings in rent every month.
Exactly. Or stocks that pay dividends.
Okay.
Or even a business you own that generates profits.
Right, so anything that's putting money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, and a liability then.
A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket.
Okay.
So think of things like your car,
Uh,
your mortgage, credit card debt.
right.
These are all things that cost you money to own or maintain.
And that's what most of us are taught to focus on.
Yeah, sadly.
Like get the fancy car, get the big house.
Right, the American dream.
Without really understanding the financial implications.
Exactly, and Kiyosaki's really challenging us to flip that script.
Yeah.
He's saying the path to wealth is paved with assets, not liabilities.
Right.
It's about shifting your focus from spending to building a portfolio of income-generating assets.
So how do we start doing that? Because, it's easy to say buy assets,
Right?
but it's a whole other thing to actually make it happen.
It is It takes a shift in mindset, first of all, and then it's about recognizing those opportunities.
Yeah.
You know? So that might mean educating yourself about different types of investments, maybe exploring real estate, or even starting a side hustle that has the potential to grow.
Okay, and this is where his idea of minding your own business comes in.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. And this is a concept that I think a lot of people misunderstand.
Okay.
Because they think it means, literally starting a company.
Right.
But it's really about building that asset column.
Right.
It's about having your money work for you, not just you working for money.
And he uses the example of Ray Kroc
Yeah, a great example.
and McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I never thought of it that way. But you're right. His genius wasn't just burgers and fries.
Right.
It was owning the land
The real estate.
underneath those golden arches.
That was his real business.
That was his real business.
It's about seeing the bigger picture and building a system that generates wealth even when you're not actively working.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful idea.
It is, but I think a lot of people, myself included, we get so stuck in the day-to-day
Yeah, the rat race.
of our jobs that we forget about
Right.
building that other business.
Yeah,
That asset column.
totally.
So what are some, small steps that we can take to start
Yeah.
minding our own business?
Well, it could be as simple as setting aside a small amount of money each month to invest,
Okay.
even if it's just $50 or $100.
Yeah.
The key is to start developing that habit of putting money to work for you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or it might be exploring a side hustle, something you're passionate about that could eventually generate income.
Right. Something that lights you up, that you're excited about.
Exactly. Because if you're not excited about it, you're not going to stick with it.
Right. And it doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming thing.
No.
It could be something small.
Start small and build from there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, Kiyosaki also talks about the power of corporations.
Yes.
And that always seemed like a really big, scary concept to me.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are intimidated by that
Yes.
word, corporation.
Is he saying that we should all be running like Fortune 500 companies?
Not necessarily, but what he's highlighting is that corporations can be a powerful tool for protecting assets and minimizing taxes.
Okay.
And it's something that the wealthy understand and utilize.
Yeah.
And he argues that it's accessible to anyone, not just the super rich.
Okay, so it's not about the physical company itself.
Right.
It's about the legal structure.
Exactly. A corporation is a legal entity
Okay.
that offers certain advantages, especially when it comes to taxes and liabilities.
So it's almost like leveling up your financial game,
Exactly.
and learning those
Need advanced strategies.
advanced strategies that can help you build wealth
Yeah.
more effectively.
That's a great way to put it.
And this is where his two dads come into play again.
Right.
Right? Like his educated dad, who had all the degrees,
A PhD.
encouraged like a traditional corporate job.
Right. Go to school, get a good job, work for a big company.
Right.
Climb the ladder.
But rich dad saw corporations as this way.
As a tool.
Yeah, as a tool to build wealth and protect yourself.
Right. To create your own system.
Yeah.
Rather than being part of someone else's system.
And it goes back to that idea of questioning conventional wisdom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just because something's the norm doesn't mean it's the most financially advantageous path.
And that's such a powerful takeaway, I think.
Yeah.
Especially for those of us that are, just starting out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, I need to challenge my assumptions here.
Challenge the assumptions. Be open to new ways of thinking about money.
Yeah, and be open to those new possibilities.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the beauty of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is it really does
It shakes things up.
shake things up and gets you thinking differently
Yeah.
about wealth and financial freedom.
It's a real paradigm shift for a lot of people.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One thing that really struck me about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is how Kiyosaki talks about the emotional side of money.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not just about numbers and strategies. It's about conquering our fears, overcoming, those mental blocks that hold us back.
And he talks about fear and laziness,
Right.
but not in the way we typically think about them.
Exactly.
Right, it's the fear of financial risk.
Yeah, the fear of losing money.
Yeah.
He compares it to the fear of public speaking,
Oh, wow.
which, many people dread more than death.
Yeah, it's that fear of judgment,
Right.
the fear of making a mistake.
Exactly. And so we end up playing it safe.
Right.
We stay stuck in the rat race.
Yeah, it's like we're paralyzed by the thought of financial failure.
Yeah.
So we just stay in our comfort zones,
Right.
even if it means, sacrificing our dreams
Yeah, exactly.
of financial freedom.
Yeah, and that's where overcoming that mental laziness comes in.
Okay.
It's about breaking free from the busy being busy trap.
Oh, yeah. We all know that one.
Right. Like we work hard, we pay bills, and we just repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
But we're not actively building our asset column. We're not working towards true financial independence.
He uses that great analogy of the briar patch
Oh, yeah. I love that analogy.
to illustrate this point.
Yeah.
It's about venturing into the unknown, facing our fears
Right.
head on.
And realizing that those thorns,
Yeah.
those setbacks, those challenges
Yeah.
are actually opportunities for growth,
Yeah.
for learning.
And it ties back to his concept of pay yourself first,
Yes.
which I've always kind of struggled with, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Because, he's not saying be responsible, don't pay your bills.
Right.
But he's saying shift your mindset.
Prioritize your financial well-being.
Okay, so practically, how do you do that?
Well, it starts with a commitment,
Okay.
even if it's a small amount at first.
Okay.
Set aside a percentage of your income.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 5%, 10%.
Okay. Yeah.
And direct it towards building your asset column.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it's investing in a low-cost index fund.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's contributing to a retirement account. Or even putting it towards a side hustle that you're passionate about.
Right, something that could generate income eventually.
Yeah.
So it's about breaking free from that paycheck to paycheck cycle
Yeah.
and building a system where your money is working for you.
Even if it's just a little bit at first.
Even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, plant those seeds and
Yes.
watch them grow.
Now, he also talks about developing financial intelligence.
Yes.
And what does that mean? Like, do we all need to be math whizzes?
No, not at all.
Do we need to have MBAs?
It's about understanding the basic principles of money.
Okay.
Things like accounting,
Yeah.
investing, understanding markets,
Okay.
and even the law.
Okay.
It's about being a savvy consumer of financial information.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to ask questions.
And he talks about, finding mentors,
Yes,
right? Like people that are already successful
absolutely.
in areas that we want to learn about.
Find someone who's already done what you want to do
Yeah.
and learn from them.
Yeah. Learn from their experiences.
Model their success.
He even says, learning from other people's mistakes
Yes.
is often more valuable than learning from your own.
It's cheaper too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so a mentor can really help you
Guide you, support you.
navigate those complexities
Absolutely.
of the financial world.
The financial world is a jungle out there.
It is.
And it's good to have a guide.
Absolutely. And he stresses that financial intelligence is a skill
Yes.
that you can develop over time.
It's not something you're born with.
It's not innate.
No, it's like any skill.
Okay.
You can learn it, you can practice it.
So you can cultivate it through learning, through experience.
Through experience, through mentorship.
He tells this story about his friend who was a brilliant artist,
Oh, yeah.
but really struggled financially.
Yeah.
And he inherited some money.
Right.
And instead of investing it wisely,
He blew it all on a magazine ad to promote his art. Yeah, not a good investment. And the lesson there is that talent alone isn't enough.
yeah,
You need to develop your financial intelligence
alongside.
along with your other skills and passions.
So it's not just about being good at what you do.
Right.
It's also about understanding how to manage and grow the money that you earn.
Exactly, because if you don't, you can end up like that artist.
Yeah.
Talented but broke.
Right.
And that's not a good place to be.
And he offers some kind of unconventional advice, I thought.
Yeah.
When it comes to like choosing a job.
Yeah, especially for young people starting out.
Yeah.
He says, focus on what you'll learn
Right.
rather than what you'll earn,
Yeah.
at least initially.
Right.
Seek out opportunities to develop valuable skills
Uh-huh.
that you can then apply to building your own business or investments down the road.
So see your job as a stepping stone,
Exactly.
as a way to gain the knowledge,
Like experience.
the experience that you'll need
Yeah.
to actually achieve financial independence.
He compares a traditional job to being a docile cow ready for milking.
Wow.
You're working for someone else's benefit,
Right.
not necessarily your own.
So he's challenging us to think differently about work
Yes.
and how it plays into our overall,
Your overall financial strategy.
our financial strategy.
Exactly.
And he encourages, finding a second job that can teach you
Right.
valuable skills like sales.
Sales marketing.
Yeah.
Those are essential for entrepreneurial success.
He even recommends network marketing
Yeah.
as a way to develop those skills.
Yeah, it's about getting out there and talking to people.
Yeah.
Building relationships.
Learning how to persuade.
Learning how to close deals.
So it's not just about earning a paycheck.
No.
It's about investing in your future earning potential.
Exactly.
Yeah, by acquiring these skills that can help you create wealth.
He acknowledges that, this approach may not lead to a high income immediately,
Right.
but it's about playing the long game,
Yeah.
investing in yourself.
And building that solid foundation.
That's solid foundation for future success.
So it's about shifting your mindset from being an employee
Yes.
to being an entrepreneur,
Exactly.
even if you're still working for someone else.
It's about taking ownership
Yeah.
of your destiny
Of your career.
and not relying on a single employer for your financial security.
And that's huge,
It is.
especially in today's economy.
Yeah, job security is an illusion.
Yeah, it is.
So it leads
So
to-
you really do have to,
You got to create your own security.
create your own security and your own opportunities.
Exactly.
I love that. And one of I think the most important messages in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is this idea of
Yeah.
shifting our mindset about money.
Yeah.
It's not just about accumulating wealth.
Right.
It's about using that wealth to create a life
Yes.
of freedom and purpose.
It's about having choices.
Yeah.
It's not just about having a big bank account. It's about having the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want.
And he really emphasizes that financial freedom
Yeah.
isn't just about having lots of money.
Right.
It's about having the freedom to choose how you spend your time.
Exactly.
your energy.
A long life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he challenges us to think about our why.
Yes.
Like, why do we want to be financially free?
What are your dreams?
What are our dreams? What are our aspirations?
What do you want your life to look like? You know?
And it's about defining your values
Yes.
and then using your financial resources to create a life.
That aligns with those values.
Yeah, that aligns with those values.
Yeah.
He reminds us that money is a tool.
It is.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil.
Absolutely.
So it's up to us to define our values
Yeah.
and use our financial resources accordingly.
And I think that's where Kiyosaki's philosophy really shines. It's
Yeah.
not just about teaching you how to make money.
Right.
It's about empowering you to use that money to create a life of meaning and impact.
Yeah.
You know?
He wants us to break free from the limitations of traditional thinking
Yeah.
and embrace a more entrepreneurial mindset.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about, conquering fear, overcoming laziness,
Right.
developing financial intelligence,
Yeah.
shifting our mindset.
Yeah.
But how do we actually start putting these lessons into action?
Right. That's the key question.
What are some concrete steps?
Well, Kiyosaki provides some great advice on that.
Okay.
He emphasizes the importance of finding mentors,
Yes.
people who have already achieved what we aspire to,
So seek out their advice, learn from their experiences.
model their success.
He also talks about the power of making offers.
Yes.
And he says a lot of people are afraid to make offers.
They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of failure.
But in the world of business and investing,
Yeah.
you'll never know what's possible
You got to put yourself out there.
unless you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So he encourages us to start small,
Yeah.
making offers on properties,
Businesses,
And
investments.
that align with our goals,
Yeah. Exactly.
and reminding us
Yeah.
that every successful investor started somewhere.
They did.
And it's often through taking action,
action.
even small actions,
Even small actions lead to big results.
that we gain that momentum.
That's right.
He also stresses the importance of shopping for bargains in all markets.
Yes.
He compares it to how we shop for groceries.
Yeah.
We look for the sales, we look for the discounts.
We want the best value for our money.
Yeah.
And he's saying, apply that same mindset to investing.
Okay.
Look for opportunities in markets that are undervalued or overlooked.
So don't be afraid to go against the crowd.
Exactly.
And even if you're starting small, he challenges you to think big
Yes.
because he believes that our mindset
Our mindset is everything.
plays such a crucial role in our success.
It does.
So envision yourself achieving your financial goals,
Yeah.
even if they seem far-fetched at the moment.
Visualize it.
Yeah.
Believe it.
And he reminds us that so many successful businesses
Yeah.
started as small.
Humble ventures.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, they see these big successful companies and they think, oh, they must have started with millions of dollars.
Right.
But often they started in a garage
Right.
or a basement
Yeah.
with an idea and a lot of hard work
And a lot of passion.
and a lot of passion.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, he also advocates for leveraging the power of volume discounts.
Yes.
And he shares this story about how he negotiated a great deal on computers for his company by partnering with friends who were also in the market for computers.
Yeah, they pooled their resources.
Yeah.
And they got a much better price.
So by thinking big and collaborating, they were able to get a significant discount.
That they wouldn't have been able to get individually.
That they wouldn't have gotten individually.
Yeah, it's a reminder that collaboration and strategic thinking can be really powerful.
Yeah. You know?
It's a great reminder.
For achieving financial success.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
We have.
You know, we've explored his key lessons on financial literacy.
Yeah.
Overcoming fear and laziness.
Right.
Developing financial intelligence.
Yeah.
And shifting our mindset about money.
And most importantly, taking action.
Yes. And we've discussed some actionable steps.
Yeah.
Like finding mentors.
Making offers.
Making offers.
Shopping for bargains.
Thinking big.
Thinking big. Yeah, and leveraging those volume discounts.
Yeah.
So hopefully people are feeling inspired and empowered.
I hope so.
To take control of their finances.
You know, it's a real call to action.
Yeah.
You know, it challenges us to break free from that traditional thinking.
Right.
And embrace a more entrepreneurial approach to life and wealth building.
Absolutely. And it's about recognizing that we have more control over our financial destiny
than we realize.
Than we often realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about taking ownership. Yeah.
And creating the future we want rather than just accepting the status quo.
And that's so empowering.
It is. It is.
But he also emphasizes that it's not just about accumulating wealth for ourselves.
Right.
Right. There's a deeper purpose.
There's got to be a why.
Do it all.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What's it all for?
Exactly. And that's where he talks about the importance of giving back.
Yes.
And using our financial resources to make a positive impact.
Absolutely.
On the world.
You know, make the world a better place.
And he talks about this concept of tithing.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, giving a portion of your income to charity.
Yeah.
Or a cause that you believe in.
Yeah. And that seems counterintuitive to a lot of people.
It does.
Right.
It's like, wait, I'm trying to build wealth.
Right. You're telling me to give away my money.
Why would I give it away?
But Kiyosaki argues that giving is essential.
Okay.
For both spiritual and financial growth.
Okay.
It's about creating a flow of abundance, not just clinging to what you have.
His rich dad had this saying.
Yeah.
If you want something, you first need to give.
Give to receive.
And it's about creating that mindset of generosity.
Yes.
And recognizing that wealth is not just about money.
Right, it's about creating value.
Yeah.
It's about making a difference.
It's about creating a positive impact.
Exactly.
In the world.
Yeah, and Kiyosaki shares personal stories about how giving, even when he was struggling financially, always seemed to open doors for him.
Okay.
Create new opportunities.
Yeah.
And even lead to unexpected financial rewards.
So it's almost like that what goes around comes around.
Yeah, karma.
Yeah.
You know, what you put out into the world comes back to you.
And it's a good reminder, I think, that generosity can have a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
Not just benefiting others, but also, you know,
creating that positive cycle.
Yeah, creating that positive cycle in our own lives.
Yeah.
And finally, he emphasizes the importance of finding your own financial heroes. People that inspire you.
Yes. Find those role models.
And show you what's possible.
Yeah. Who do you look up to?
Yeah.
In the financial world.
And he encourages us to study their strategies.
Learn from their mistakes.
Learn from their mistakes and adopt their mindsets.
Yeah. It's like having a roadmap to success.
Yeah.
You know, learning from those who have already blazed the trail.
He compares it to how, like, young athletes idolize their, you know, sports heroes.
Right. They study their techniques.
Yeah.
They try to emulate their success.
So find those people that inspire you financially.
Yeah.
It could be entrepreneurs, investors, authors.
Mentors.
Yeah, even people in your own life.
Yeah.
That have achieved financial success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learn from them.
Model their behavior.
Yeah. And let their stories fuel your own journey.
Yeah, because success leaves clues.
It does.
You know, you just got to look for them.
This has been fantastic.
It has.
You know, diving into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
So many great insights.
So many great insights. So many valuable lessons.
Practical strategies. Yeah.
And it's a great reminder that it's not about luck.
No.
It's about financial intelligence.
Taking action.
Taking action, consistently working towards your goals.
Yeah, and it's a journey.
It is.
It's not a destination.
And it's important to remember that building wealth isn't just about money.
Right.
It's about creating a life of freedom.
Purpose.
Purpose and impact.
Yeah.
It's about designing the life you want.
Yes.
And using your financial resources to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, this has been fun.
On this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I hope people found it valuable.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
Keep challenging yourself.
Keep growing.
And keep building that path
To financial freedom.
to financial freedom.